Welcome to the Craft Beer Review by the 11 PM Somewhere podcast. Today is a mash-up. That's right, MashTag 2013 versus 2014. Both brewed by, of course, the two fucking maniacs from Scotland, Martin Dickey and James Watt, better known as the Brewdog Boys. This is a look at their democratic beer, as they like to call it. So what they do is, the premise of this is really quite simple. Over the course of a week, they get people to vote on different aspects of the beer. Monday, for example, they will start talking about the style of the beer, perhaps. And then they'll start getting into like the hops. Then they'll start getting into any special ingredients. Then they'll start getting into the logo, what it's supposed to look like in terms of artwork. People get to vote on it. And then you get to send your responses onto a form on their website, and then you get to go and choose it. Then the boys at the end of it have a recipe for a beer, and then they go out and then they go and make it and sell it as a special edition beer, and it's all pretty cool and pretty great. So the 2013 edition is a brown ale, which is actually kind of cool. It's 7.4% brown ale, and specialties in this is going to be oak chips and hazelnuts. And you know what, last year myself and my buddy Frank Chizenko at FChizenko on Twitter, we checked this beer out. We actually had it on draft, and it was the first time we had it, and it was utterly incredible. Like, we were utterly blown away by it when we tried it last year. And then when we got it in bottles again later on in the year, like, again, amazing. And this is sort of the last of that I have. So, and I deliberately held on to this because I knew that this one was coming. Now, this beer is actually a bit heavier. This is an Imperial Red Ale, which is actually really cool, having an Imperial Red Ale for a change. And you know, this has got like global hops, it's got citrus peel, blood orange, and you know, I'm really looking forward to trying this out. And this should be a really, really good beer. It should be nice to see the sort of difference in the comparison between the pair of these. With the old one, you've got this beautiful colour on it as well, which is fantastic. It has a nice head to it. And you stick your nose in there and you instantly know you've got a brown ale, and brown ales are always distinctive. Anyone who's had Newcastle brown ale, you know, I don't care what the jokes about it are. If you've tried it, it's a great beer. It's a staple of the north. But again, you get this, definitely get the hazelnut in there, getting a little bit of oak warmth as well, and that little bit of sort of bready spice that you tend to get going on. And it's still a beautiful, beautiful beer to behold. And I really, really dig it for that reason. Now this, on the other hand, I know the head nut seems quite thin. This is actually like a 9.6% beer, so it is quite heavy. And when it pours, you can see it when it's going into the glass how heavy it is. And I'm expecting this to be kind of boozy, but the smell you get off it, like, definitely get orange citrus, like that that exact smell that you get when you peel an orange, and that first sort of the smell you get, like, from the oils getting onto your skin on your fingers. It's a really, really beautiful feeling to it as well. I mean, you can definitely, you know that you're getting like a very, very big, heavy malty beer as well. Really good reds tend to have that great malty character to it going on. Very biscuity as well is what they tend to have. So I'm all forward to this. And the orange. You know, it's my first taste of that beer. And I was someone who's been looking forward to getting their hands on this beer now since I followed through the process this year. Last year I didn't partake in the MashTag voting. This year I was really happy that I did get to. And nice thing was, actually, everything that I wanted in the beer I actually got, like an Imperial Red. I really wanted to see an Imperial Red. Really wanted to see blood orange in a beer, apart from in a Heffy. Because I haven't tried anything with much blood orange in it, which would be great. You know what? Everything about this is really nice. It's not heavy as well in the mouth. Another Imperial Red that I have like a huge amount of affinity for is 8 Wired's Mighty Ale. Now that is a big bastard of a beer, done by some absolutely mental Kiwis. You do some incredible beers, like very, very flavourful. Like they tend to be like almost like full on assaults on your senses. And this actually is. Like, you know you're drinking an Imperial with it, which is great. I believe if you're going to drink an Imperial, it should taste like an Imperial. Everything in your mouth, in terms of the way that it coats your mouth and all, it should definitely say, I'm an Imperial, and you know you're drinking an Imperial. The blood orange isn't particularly heavy in this, which I kind of like. The malt speaks an awful lot in this, which I think is great. The blood orange is just in there, and it's nice, and you kind of get it towards the back end of things, which I think is fantastic, because I'd hate to pick up like an imperial red and just getting like big assaulting mouthfuls of blood orange straight up, or orange straight up. I think that would be kind of weird. Kind of be like dropping orange soda into a red ale, which wouldn't be particularly great, to be quite frank and honest. But I do think the good characteristics of a red, which is that kind of very sort of the, in terms of like just the red ale itself, what you normally get with it, and then you put that with like a blood orange, and blood orange has always got that kind of, it's almost veering towards being grapefruit, but it's never quite gets there, which is great. But it also has a red berry-ish type thing going on to it. And with this, I think just the balance is just right. And with these beers is I've actually let them just get up to room temperature as well, which is really cool. Which is, I think it gives it an awful lot. Definitely opens up hugely in the aroma, which I think is really fantastic. I mean, it's not as overwhelming as 8 Words Mighty Ale, which when you just put that into a glass and just let it sit there, just like comes up and it literally destroys you straight out of the glass, like. And it wants to get in there and just pound the crap out of you in terms of your senses and everything else. This, I think, is actually, it's kind of actually, in one respect, it's kind of reserved for a Brewdog beer. I'll be brutally honest with that. Brewdog beers, like when you talk about their specialty beers, tend to be like full on assaults. And this is actually really pleasant in that respect. This is a beer which I think is actually going to do them an awful lot of good this year. And you know what, I can't wait to talk to other equity punks when I hit the AGM later on this month, just to sort of gauge other people's opinions on it as well. And I'm sure it's going to be a discussion which will be had at the AGM as well, and a question will be asked. And I also hope that I'll be able to catch up with Martin and James as well, and sort of ask them a little bit about the process for this and what it was like going through the MashTag process as a whole. Like giving up sort of that control over the beer about what the beer is ultimately going to be. I mean, yes, they set the parameters of what the beer is, but it'd be nice and interesting to see. And it'll be also interesting to see, like Brewdog, I think on July 2nd, are actually putting out an internet global tasting for MashTag 2014. And it'll be interesting to see other people's responses in that, and the interactivity as well. See what other people's thoughts are around the beer. If you've tried 2014, I'd love to know what your thoughts are. You can leave a comment down below, or you can rate, review, and thumbs up. Thanks.